came from. Yesterday, 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 yesterday. I wanna yesterday, 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 yesterday. I wanna go back. Yesterday, yesterday, yesterday. I wanna see where I came from. Yesterday, 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 yesterday. I wanna go back. Yesterday, yesterday, yesterday. I wanna see where I came from. Yesterday, 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 yesterday. I wanna go back. Yesterday, yesterday, yesterday. I wanna see where.
Some ideas should not be explored.
I like it. All ideas start somewhere.
Yes, that is true. I'm just in a mood. My son graduated high school. When was that? Friday. Yeah. So everything is like happening so fast that I really haven't had time to just like process,
the fact that he just graduated.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is my youngest son.
I know.
That's it. That part of my life, as far as like taking care of kids and
running them around.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much over. So
I know what you mean.
It's like a delineating point in my life. Your last child has graduated high school. Okay, so now it's like there's before and now there's after. For me, that's kind of like just thinking about it in this moment, that's what it feels like to me. And like I haven't really fully processed it and kind of like just sat with it. But anyway, other than that,
Well, he went to the prom, right? That was a while ago.
No, actually, prom is going to be this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They just kind of like threw this prom in at the last minute. So I'm just like, and I had already planned to go see my parents for the anniversary birthday. Man. And I guess they're setting up a little party atmosphere there.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's not making a big deal out of it. So I'm just going to explain to him, grandma and grandpa's, big day, in a sense, anniversary. And with my sister passing, feel like I need to spend some more time with them, on special occasions, because she's not around. Yep. Yeah. So how was your week?
Monday I tried to work on music and I sent you some songs, the Sade one and that other one that I came up with.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I listened to the second one. I didn't get to the Sade one.
Sade one?
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta listen to that. You want to play it?
Yeah, I can play it. Can you hear? It's for Your Love is King.
Yeah.
Version. We can
Your Love is King.
Other versions.
Your kisses ring around my head. Your Love is King.
And then the other one, which I didn't really care for, is The Speed of Life. That title just came to me when I was driving. And I was like, oh, let me see if I can come up with something.
That's very appropriate for me right now. Because I feel like life is just like yeah,
I know.
going so fast. And I'm just like, slow down. Yeah.
So that's all it is there too. I still need to add changes.
I like that too. Damn it. I got work to do. I gotta take a vacation so I can get some work done. And that's so weird. Because yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. I was like, dang, I wanted to write, but the energy was just all wrong. It was like, because now that my youngest son is not going to school, he's like at home and he's playing his music. And this was after work. And then I was just like, I just couldn't get into it. I'm just in this weird space. Where's the moon today? Are we
On your shirt.
I know. I wore my moon shirt, maybe because I'm being influenced by the tides or the moon, the phase of the moon right now, or something crazy.
What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
What's
We
your
believe
date exactly
in
of
love.
birth?
January 5.
I thought so. I gotta remember that.
Truth be told, I'm really an ancient alienist.
Oh, so you believe that an alien came or aliens came and helped the Egyptians build the pyramids?
I think that there's more going on than traditional history is willing
I'm sure
to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because even now, even though they don't want to link our history to visitations, I have been hearing that the government is beginning to disclose different files and different video footage, and they're starting to admit that there are unidentified flying objects that enter our airspace, and they have no idea what it is, where it's coming.
I was just going to tell you that because today I saw a video about some Navy guys on a ship. Yeah. And they filmed these objects like hovering near them on the ocean. And I think it was for like 100-mile radius. Mm-hmm. And all the ships could see it. And they'd hover and then they would just like splash under the water. Either splash under the water or disappear. But the footage isn't very clear, but it's on like a news channel. It wasn't like one of those those weird YouTube channels that you don't believe.
Right.
But I'm just wondering why now? Why is everything coming out now?
Well, from what I understand, that they did release a batch of files. I think after 50 years, they have to declassify certain information. Mm-hmm. And I guess this batch of information has been some of it's been, more than 50 years. So they're disclosing all this thing. But it is interesting because there is this school of thought who they believe that we need an outside threat to bring us together as a country or as a globally in order to fortify and to justify weapons that can just to keep the military complex going.
So that was the whole air or space force
thing? Force, yeah, part of that. And then I was watching this other program. I think it was on Amazon Prime. And there are a group of people who intentionally try to contact these objects. Yeah, these entities or these ships. And they've developed this protocol by which they're able to actually get a response from the lights in the sky. And supposedly they've been in contact with certain entities. Basically, the bottom line is that they see that the path that we're going on this earth is not a good one. And they intervene to kind of like keep us on the right path so that eventually we can join the Federation. Right now, we're too violent.
Well, I know Naomi was saying if there's aliens, then how come they haven't made themselves visible? And my theory is if they're intelligent enough to have made it here, because they had to come from far to be able to get here, because we haven't seen life anywhere where our technology has been able to look.
Right.
So to me, you have to have a degree of intelligence and humanity, or quote unquote, whatever theirs is, to be able to travel that far, because you have to work together with people.
Right.
So, and then looking at us and seeing how fearful we can be, I'm sure that they know that if they made themselves visible, we'd be afraid, and they don't want that. That to me, it's a form of, it shows to me that they have to be kind, because otherwise we would have been destroyed already.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because look at how we respond to differences within our own species.
Yeah.
So just imagine if they made themselves to be known to us. You know, we would freak out. There's already been cases where this documentary that I was watching, whereby our military's first course of action is to attack the ship. They attack it. They don't ask questions. They don't observe. They just attack it.
Typical.
That's typical. So if they wanted to, they could just incinerate us. Yeah. They've already, this from the stories that I've heard, that when we get too close to nuclear annihilation, they'll do things like fly over a military base and disable all the bombs. It's interesting. Mainstream media, they want to ridicule it, but I believe the government knows way more than they're admitting. So call me a conspiracy theorist or just call me open-minded.
You had told me about a Netflix, another Netflix show that I watched. You told me about it, but I don't remember the name. It was also about, I don't remember, but then I know in the documentary they were talking about some government files, and they said you can just look it up at the US website. So I did, I looked it up, and they're there. They talk about, I can't remember now. They probably erased my memory of it with a flash of light or something. But like they do with so many other memories that I but I remember you told me about that show on Netflix. Now I have to look it up. Do you believe in time travel? Do you think that's possible?
I was just telling Camille about, do you remember hearing about the Manhattan Project? It's the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that.
Have you heard of that one?
I remember it.
Supposedly the US military was experimenting with time travel. And something happened. And
that's based on a true story?
It's based on a true story, like back in the 50s, whereby whatever they did, it only half worked. And so
what does that mean?
Some people did disappear, and there was like some weird warping of the battleship that they were on. It was a very strange event, and then they swept it under the rug, but supposedly it really happened. But anyway, I didn't mean for this to go into the Twilight Zone.
There's more stuff to write about. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask, did you see where, I just wanted to find out what you think about it. So Naomi Osaka, the tennis player, so she decided that she wasn't going to do any interviews for her mental health, even though it was part of her contract. So they fined her because she didn't do the interviews. And I think she ended up dropping out of the tournament. I'll tell you what I think, but what is your feeling?
Okay. I'm glad you brought up this topic, because it was on my list of things to talk about. And I think my thought, it's a hard place for her to be in, I would think. You know, she's trained all her life to compete. It just so happens that in this day and time, part of the job is talking to reporters and I guess giving your take on a particular match. We don't know. I mean, okay, so my gut response is to say it's part of the job, handle it. But there is so much in the past that a lot of athletes, movie stars, musicians, they a lot of them are very introverted, and to be hounded by the press and the media about your thoughts and your analysis about your performance, I can see where that can be damaging. You're already probably having that conversation in your head anyway, and you're probably, even though you may be very confident in what you're doing, but there's always that doubt. And very often the press wants to point out everything you did wrong. And I can see how that can be mentally taxing. And so I applaud her at this point for standing up for herself. I heard Pierce Morgan was like trying to trash her, saying you're a snowflake, you're weak, and this and that, and whatever. Like how can you say that about mental health when there are real people who have real problems? You're just a spoiled brat. He doesn't know her.
Yeah.
He doesn't know her. He doesn't know what she's gone through. He doesn't know what kind of insecurities she might have. So I think what she did was brave, taking a step back from that old school way of thinking. Just deal with it, just handle it. You can handle it, just taking a step back. There's a lot of people that are suffering because of them just handling it and not taking that space and that time to kind of care for their mental health.
My gut reaction was the same as yours. Like, that's part of your contract and you should just live up to it. But at the same time, like you said, with the way things are nowadays, there's too many different types of reporters out there that are looking for gossip instead of just news.
Right.
So the only part of the whole thing that bothers me is the social media aspect of being able to tweet and Facebook or post whatever. I don't know if maybe her delivery of it, I'm glad she did what she did, but the delivery of it is probably the part that just feels off a little bit, because that's going to attract the same kind of attention you don't want when you're doing interviews. So like, you put a post up and you're going to get all these comments, bad, like you were saying, Pierce Morgan. So those have to be taxing too, because just reading, luckily we haven't had any real bad comments on our post, but I'm sure when we get to 1 million views, we're going to be getting some negative feedback. Even that one thumbs down makes me feel bad. So when you tweet something and then you start getting negative feedback, that just seems like an additional, I don't know, another dimension to mental health that I think a lot of kids are having to deal with, seeing comments. And so I just think that maybe there should be someone at the beginning before they even sign the contract to help them, like maybe a psychologist or someone that can help read through the contract and see what their obligations are and explain that this is what's going to happen. And you can negotiate it at the beginning before you even sign anything. Like, if I do a press, it can only be with so-and-so and one time. And then, not be obligated to so many. But once you sign it, you've already kind of given it. Maybe that's why she dropped out of the tournament, because she couldn't fulfill it. If I got the news correct. But yeah, that's my only thing, is it's all taxing. Any kind of social media to me, that from our video to a tweet to a Facebook post or whatever, Instagram, there's going to be negative feedback everywhere you go. So
right. I understand that side of it too, as far as like fulfilling that, she has a contractual obligation to do press. To juxtapose her dilemma, I also heard on the news about the daughter of Muhammad Ali. She has a documentary. I believe it's called I Am Ali. And the reporter was asking about the role of the media in his life and in his career. And she said that Muhammad Ali, welcomed the media. He welcomed the intrusion because he had a higher purpose to his celebrity. He wanted to make the world a better place. So whenever he got the opportunity to speak, he spoke.
It's a serious poem. You have certainly very serious moments, as you've shown us tonight. Could you, before we go, just say that poem for us?
Oh, this poem explains the Attica prison. You heard that over here when all the black prisoners were shot, and just before they held some white hostages, and they said they would cut the throats if they didn't get what they wanted. And the word was, well, if the throats are cut, then shoot and kill everybody. They found out during the autopsy that the throats were not cut. They just shot them for nothing. The trigger-happy policeman, and that Rockefeller gave word 10 minutes or so, if they don't give up, I think it's the way it went, open fire. And one black prisoner came out to speak to the warden, and he said, you have 10 minutes to surrender. What's your reply? Are we going to come in shooting? And the black prisoner came out, poetic poem. This didn't happen, but this is what I wrote. He said, better far from all I see, to die fighting to be free. What more fitting end could be? Better surely than in some bed where in broken health I'm led, lingering until I'm dead. Better than with prayers and pleas are in the clutch of some disease, wasting slowly by degrees. Better than of heart attack are some dose of drug I lack. Let me die by being black. Better far that I should go, standing here against the foe, is the sweeter death to know. Better than the bloody stain on some highway where I'm lain, torn by flying glass and pain. Better call in death to come than to die another dumb, muted victim in the slum. Better than of this prison rot, if there's any choice I've got, kill me here on the spot. Better far my fight to wage now while my blood boils with rage, lest it cool with ancient age. Better violent for us to die than to Uncle Tom and try, making peace just to live a lie. Better now that I say my sooth, I'm gonna die demanding truth while I'm still akin to youth. Better now than later on, now that fear of death is gone, never mind another darn. They opened fire on them, but they died telling it like it was.
I wanna go back yesterday, yesterday, yesterday. I wanna see